I want to mute everybody too. So once you go ahead and mute Holly.
I was saying I could see who else was on. I haven't memorized all those numbers, so I didn't know if anyone from the summit was
Yeah,
joining
Sarah.
us tonight.
I
Oh,
think
Sarah was, yeah, Sarah was with us. Awesome. All right. Well, yes, we are already 5 minutes past the hour. So, good evening and welcome, Team Legacy. My name is Holly. Brian and I are coming to you from Sarasota, Florida. And it is August 5th. I can't believe we are 5 days into the month of August already. They call it I think it's the dog days of summer. But for some of us, it's back to school. So Austin technically should be starting school next Monday. It's hard to believe he's happy that he's coming with us on the Alaskan cruise. I know several of you on our team did also earn that trip, so congratulations. Marlon and Janet Graber, can't wait to see you on that cruise. Jonathan and Martha Yoder also earned the trip. Karen and Norman Mass also earned the trip. Just it was phenomenal, and just overjoyed to see folks on the team earn this
yeah. Don't
incredible
forget the
experience.
Zerfosses. Don't.
Zerfos, yes,
Yeah,
Stacy's coming. Stacy is going
it's
to
like a
come.
family reunion for the
When
Zerfosses.
it is. It's Stacy's coming. Her
Zach.
Wendy's coming. Zach's coming. Oh my gosh, everybody, the whole Zerfos
Yeah.
family is coming. So, just again, congratulations to each of you. I believe tomorrow night, the company is having a Alaskan cruise kickoff call. So you should have received an email about that. But for those of you who didn't join us this past weekend, shame on you. We were up there in beautiful, beautiful Amish country, Berlin, Ohio. And the weather it was very fall-like. It was cool in the mornings and nice and crisp. And I don't think it got over like 75, 80 degrees in the afternoon for the most of the time that we were there. And it was just such a joy and a nice break, at least for us coming from Florida. But we had the fifth annual Team Legacy Summit. The incredible Dr. Don D and Marcy Nettles flew in from Arizona, and they were our guest speakers for the entire weekend. Both of them, I think, did a phenomenal job. We have gotten nothing but raving reviews for them. I am not exactly sure how we're going to top them next year, to be honest with you. Everyone really, really embraced the two of them. They talked a lot about mindset and believing in yourself, habits, and obviously a lot of deep diving into the products, which I know many of you love to hear all about the products. And so, Dondi, I think, just did a phenomenal job, him and Marcy both. And then, of course, don't want to discount our leaders who got in front of the room as well, because getting in front of the room is not always easy. It can be a little nerve-wracking, but Henry Sworry got up and he presented on the impact of stories, why stories are so important. And he did a phenomenal job, had some great jokes in there as well. Very entertaining. Also, Ben and Fannie Mae got up in front of the room. And what I loved was that they shared with us what not to do, right? They were sharing with us their journey and some of the mistakes that they made along the way. And I think that that's important. I think sometimes we see people reach the executive ranks and you don't realize that we don't do all the things all the right way, right? And there's things that lessons that we've learned along the way that have allowed us to continue to move forward. And so appreciated them being vulnerable and sharing those experiences with us. Karen Mast and Velma and Ralph Schwartz got in front of the room. They were our most recent attendees for the Growth Summit. For some of you may have known it was called the Pro 5 Summit back in the day. But they really took a lot of notes and shared with us some of their biggest takeaways from that as well. And then last but not least, we had Joel Brenneman. Joel got in front of the room and really talked about vision, what it means to cast vision, the importance of having vision, especially maybe if you're feeling stuck or you're not exactly where you want to be in your business. But all around, a day and a half, jam-packed, minute by minute, we made the most of every second that we had during that event. So I hope you don't mind, Sarah. I know that you're on, and I hadn't reached out to you ahead of time, but I would love if you wouldn't mind, just real quickly before Brian's gonna go into a whole business plan with you guys tonight. So we're excited to be kind of diving into that. Be sure, get ready to take some notes and maybe even ask some questions. But Sarah, I would love for you to take yourself off of mute and just kind of share with us a little bit your thoughts on the summit. Maybe any of your takeaways as well. I don't know if you want to unmute her. Oh, there she is.
Yes, I'm gonna leave my camera on because I'm outside with my kids and there's a lot going on. Hang on a minute. Okay, wait till I'm done. My daughter wants to watch something on my phone.
Of course.
Um, so, one of the things that stood out to me the most was when Marcy was talking about mindset. The first evening, she was saying how our mindset, if I can think of it right now, it's programming, and our programming affects our beliefs, and our beliefs affect our feelings, and our feelings affect our activity. And as I was writing that down, I was like, wow, like there's a few areas in my life that I wonder where my programming got damaged or messed up, so to say. So it was really, really good for me to like hear that perspective and know that, if there's something, if your activity or beliefs or something isn't how you want it to be, like go back to the programming. I'm sorry, my daughter wants my phone. I think I need to get her the laptop. Eden, Mama's on. I'm on the phone right now. Okay. But see, this is the beauty about network marketing. I can be on a call and my 2 and 4 year old, wanting something, but I woke up this morning and I got an email notification that I got paid, like a paycheck from LifeVantage. Just sit down, then I'll let you have it. And I don't know what other thing I can do, like that will pay me, even with my kids crying in the background. I'm gonna mute myself.
Well, thank you, Sarah, for at least trying to hop on there and sharing what you did. Yes, that was, Marcy really kind of set the stage Friday night, right? As we went into Saturday. And so, but thank you again for sharing that. But we already have in next year's dates locked in. So would love to have you join us. You can actually go to lvgopro.com, the team website, and actually get the details for the event and register. It is going to be August 14th and August 15th, Friday and Saturday as usual. And the early bird rate right now is $99. So $99 gets you in the door. It gets you all your goodies, all your printed materials. It also includes a hot lunch on Saturday afternoon. The hotel that we stay at includes a hot breakfast. So pretty much almost all your meals are part of everything. And so please get registered for that. Would love to have you help us fill that room for next year, August 14th and 15th. And then my last plug before Brian hops on is going to be Momentum Academy. Momentum Academy is coming in October. And I did a whole segment on the power of promotion and really why events are important, how and what events, how they shape our business. And then also I shared a lot of tips as it related to how best to promote and really get people to feel and understand the emotion and the experiences that are tied with events. All right. It's not just about facts and it's not just about the skill sets and the training. It's the experiences and the belief that people gain through these incredible events. So Dallas is going to be Momentum Academy, sorry, is Dallas, Texas this year. It's going to be, was it October 20, is it 23rd, Brian? I want to say.
I want to say 24th, 25th.
24th. Well, I think we're coming in on the 23rd, but
Yeah, let me look. Yeah, 24th, 25th.
Yep. So you can get early bird pricing. That's also only $99 right now. As well, the full schedule is on your replicated website every single day, hour by hour breakdown. We're going to be staying at it was an Anatole Hotel.
Yeah, Anatoly.
Anatoly, I
I
think
don't know
it
how to
is.
pronounce it.
Yeah, it's actually like a mini resort.
Yeah.
It's literally a mini resort. It's got slides and a whole big pool and outdoor like entertainment area. And everything's going to be on site, which I think is really cool. Like it's the hotel and the convention center, it's all on site. So um go ahead and get registered for that event as well. And we just look forward to seeing you guys all there. So I guess now's the moment. I'm gonna kick it over to you, Brian, and I'm gonna let you share your screen and do all that good fun stuff and
Yeah.
tell
All
us
right.
how we can go into fall, right?
Yeah, and
Reignited.
so this was, we ran out a little bit of time, so just a little bit of secret. This was my presentation I skipped at the event. Holly said, like, shh, don't tell them that. But I did something very similar last year at the last year's event as well, because I didn't want anybody to leave the event without having a plan in place of, I told everybody it's a crime, absolute crime to leave that event and not take action with everything that they learned, all the motivation, all the inspiration, and everything they got at the event, because I learned a lot. Dr. Dondi Nettles, again, did a deep dive on every single product in there. Jake from corporate did a phenomenal job talking about 12 principles of leadership. And then all you, the leaders within our team that presented, I thought did phenomenal, and we got a lot of good feedback on that as well. There's just so much happening right now. You all know there's a new product getting rolled out in October at in Dallas, and we're not allowed to tell you what the product is. And the only reason Holly and I know what it is we're on the field advisory board. But but it's again, LifeVantage always has come up with great products. Our GLP-1 system right now, it is the only natural product clinically proven to boost GLP-1 levels 200% on average. Okay. The only one. And I think I told the story there. I was very offended because I was at a networking event and I had two people talk to me and they're like, "Oh yeah, well, our company has a product that does just that." And I'm looking at them like, "No, you don't. You don't. You have a supplement that has an ingredient that you're pointing to a study that says it supports GLP-1 production. It doesn't say it boosts GLP-1 production by 200%. Ours is the only one that can say that. And that's with the power of activation versus supplementation. And so we spent a lot of time at the event talking about that, especially Friday night with so many guests in the room to make sure they understood what we're talking about when we talking about get activated. All right, so enough of that. I was about ready to get on my soapbox again, but I will not be tempted to get on that. Let me share my screen real quick. Alrighty here. Okay. I just want to make sure I pull up the participants in case other people try to get into the meeting and pull that up real quick. All right. So let's put up this all together, and that again, this was the title of the presentation, taking everything that we learned last weekend and put it all together into a business plan. Because a goal without a plan and a timeline is just a dream. I don't know if you've ever heard that quote before. So you want to put the plan together, give it a timeline, and then work the plan. So, and part of this is to kind of cast a vision because you have to know where you're going, right? So you got to see where you're going with this. So, what will your business look like 1 year from now? Will it look the same as it is today, or will it be drastically different? Different. A lot can happen in a year's time. A lot can happen in a year's time. So go back to why are you doing this? What do you want to get out of LifeVantage? I mean, there's a lot of different reasons people do LifeVantage. For a lot of people, they just want to help people. For other people, they have a lot of financial stress, so they see this as a business. A lot of people just heavily into the products, think everybody should know about them. There's lots and lots of different reasons, and everybody's got up their why, and we can take everybody's why and really drill down into what emotional connection that you would have to why you're doing this in the first place and let LifeVantage be the vehicle to achieve that. What will the amount of your monthly check be in 1 year from now? What do you want it to be? What is it today? What do you want it to be for a year from now? And you also have to look and see what rank corresponds that. So here's loose. I do have an updated earnings claim statement, but this is approximate numbers, starting with senior consultant three, going up to residential. And this is kind of a range, right? So what is the approximate income that you want to have a year from now, and what is the corresponding rank? Because we know, we can tell, we can actually calculate how many customers you would need now with our new compensation plan. We can really calculate that pretty accurately. But also, what we can't calculate is how many consultants, because but what we do know is that when you replicate yourself and you have a team built of multiple consultants, it that creates a lot of leverage for you, and it can propel a lot faster in that. But some people don't want to do that, and that's fine. And that's one of the beautiful parts of the Evolve compensation plan is you don't have to find business builders. If you just want to be customer gatherers, you can still make significant money with this compensation plan. So what rank corresponds to that amount that you want? How many new customers or consultants will be on your team? So again, this is goal setting. How many new customers do you want? How many new consultants do you want? Because when you know that number or have an approximate in mind, you gotta keep in mind that what's called the rule of three. And what that means is for every three people who see a presentation, one joins. Okay. I I would tell you, I've been doing this a long time. I would tell you all three join eventually. Okay. But at any one time, when three see a presentation, one joins. Okay. And so for every 10 people advise that presentation, three will attend. So if you want one person to join, you need 10 people to be invited. Okay. You need to invite 10 people, three will show up, one will join. See how that works? Okay. So for every 30 people you contact, 10 will want more info. So I kind of working backwards here in this. So let's start from the bottom and work our way up so you can see the logic here. So if I contact 30 people based on the rule of three, 10 are going to say, yes, I want more info on that. That's one out of three. So for those 10, you say, okay, you want info, let me invite you to a Zoom, let me invite you to a meeting, let me invite myself into your living room, whatever it is, to see a presentation. Three will actually attend the presentation. And out of that three, one will join. So if you need 30 to reach out to 30 people just to get one to join, you can see the math there. So you need to reach out to lots and lots of people. And I'm not saying that to scare you. That's just the reality of it, because a lot of people talk to two people and they say no, and they say, this doesn't work, and they throw up their hands and they quit. And you really need to cast a wide net, talk to a lot of people, do not discriminate on who would and who wouldn't, because people will surprise you. And the people that you think won't do this are the ones that usually really grab onto it and run with it. I've seen it over and over again. So, but just keep these numbers in mind, because you really need a big database of people to reach out to, cast that wide net. And then once you start, but again, the good news is, guys, so you need a lot of people to find those people, but you don't need a lot of people to join you. Okay. You don't need a lot. You don't need hundreds and hundreds of people to join your business. I think we had enrolled about 25 total consultants to reach back to in what was called the elite ranks, which is executive now. 25. We had 25 consultants that we personally enrolled. And out of that 25, I think four actually did anything. Okay. So we enrolled 25, so you need four good people in our case to reach the executive level. But you don't know who those people are. That's why we enrolled 25 who raised their hand, say, yeah, I want to do this. I want to run for it. But when it came down to it, only four of them actually did. But that's all we needed. All right. So that's the good news of that. You don't need a ton of people. You just need a few of the right people. So what will your business look like a year from now? So using that rule of three, how many people do you need to talk to? And I want you to think about, so we're not gonna eat, I guess the old adage, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time, right? And so you're going to break this down. You unless you want to call, let's say you have 300 people on your list, you can't really call them all in one day, right? So you break that up. And you want to decide on your minimum. And what I mean by that is each day, how many people are you going to reach out to? And if it's two, you're doing really, really well. Reaching out to two people a day. That is a good goal for most people, just talking to two new people every single day. Because that's 10 a week if you just work in business days, right? And that's, 40 a month, at least 40 to 50 people a month that you're talking to. That's a good pace. Now you can obviously go faster than that. If you raise your minimum to three or four, you're going to be going a lot faster. But if you want to start walking, maybe it's only one a day. That's fine. But you get to decide that number, but make sure that's your minimum number to talk to on a daily basis. And you can put that in a daily method of operation, what we call that. It's basically the list of three to eight things that you're going to do every single day. And part of that list is how many new people are you going to reach out to? How many people are you going to follow up with? Because when you start reaching out to people, you're going to have to start following up with people. So that's another touch point, another thing you include on your list. Yeah, that goes right into the point here. What other activities are you going to do daily? So I've got a little, this is kind of old. I need to update it, but I have here, on my desk, a list of my daily method of operation. On it, I have messaged three new people, email an influencer, it says on that, because I was really going after some influencers. Not so much anymore, but there's a lot of them out there, and we're attracting a lot of them into the company. So I shouldn't say I'm not, but I was really targeting influencers at the time. Follow up with three people. Okay, that is on there as well. Watching a training video because I always like to learn more stuff. So I have that on there. And then read 10 pages of a book because I understand that personal growth is a big part of this. And I hate to read. I absolutely hate to read. But if I can read 10 pages a day, so 10 pages a day, and that equates to a lot of books during the year. I think I read like five or six books last year when normally I wouldn't have read any, but I just kind of chopped it up and read 10 pages a day and I got through five or six new books. It works that well. So what activities do you want to put together your daily method of operation, put on a list, print it out, put it somewhere we can look at it every single day and check those things off because the key to this, spoiler alert, the key to success is just consistent effort over a long period of time. So just doing a little bit, just take one bite of that elephant every single day, and over time, you're going to eat the whole elephant. And yeah, just as important as what you're going to do is when you're going to do it. This is really part of habit forming. When you want to develop new habits, you want to insert those activities into your schedule, into your day. So, for example, I read 10 pages of a book. I do that it's one of the first things I do in the morning. So I get up, I make my morning drink, whether it be coffee or tea, and I'll open the book and read 10 pages. Okay, so I inserted that activity right after I make my tea in the morning, so that I can be consistent with it every single day. If maybe you're commuting to work, maybe you want to insert contacting new people in your follow-ups while you're driving to work or driving home from work. For those of you who have a commute, whatever it is. But the beauty of this is you get to decide what you do every day and when you do it. So, but the hard part is actually doing it, right? That's the hard part. Okay, what will your business look like a year from now? Here's another thing is making sacrifices in this because as John Maxwell says, everything worthwhile is uphill. And so as you're going uphill, there's going to be sacrifices. There's going to things that you're going to have to um, cut loose of. For us, I remember, we had skipped out a lot of parties, a lot of family gatherings, so we had to skip out on because LifeVantage came first. We had commitments to our team doing other meetings, and we wanted to be there for our team. And so we missed birthday parties, we missed other family gatherings so that we can be there for our team and our business. And I mean, if I was meeting someone new, someone said, raise their hand, say, yeah, I want more information. Sometimes I had to cut something that I enjoyed doing out so that I could go and meet with that person. So there's sacrifices that you're going to have to make along the way, but I can absolutely tell you with 100% certainty it is absolutely worth it. Absolutely worth it. For the life that we have now, I've been doing this for 13 years, full time for the past 10. It was absolutely worth all the hard work in the beginning. It's and still worth the work that we're putting in now. So it's absolutely worth it. And here's a good question to ask yourself. Are you still going to do those activities even if you don't feel like it? Okay. Even if you don't feel like doing it, are you still going to do it? So if you make that decision now, it's going to make those future decisions a lot easier. Okay. So if you say, no matter what, I don't care what the weather's going to be. I don't care what shows on TV. I don't care, it's just whatever. If you don't feel like it, are you still going to do those activities? Because um, I'm trying to remember the basketball coach's famous quote. It's something along there, but he's just talking about successful people are successful because they still do the right activities, even though they don't feel like doing them. Oh, speaking of favorite quotes, this is one of my favorites. I absolutely, absolutely love this quote. And I keep hearing it. It keeps coming across my Instagram feed or Facebook. And it's just 100% true. And this is something I tell myself, and maybe that's why I like it, because there are things that I avoid doing, when it comes to this business, because it's easy to avoid it. I can find distractions in my life to avoid things, but I keep remembering this quote. The only thing standing between you and your dream is the work that you're avoiding. Okay? 100%. The only thing standing between you and your dream is the work that you are avoiding. There's other versions of this, but man, I have to remind myself of this quote. It's so because it's so easy to avoid things that I know I should be doing. But I just remind myself of this quote that's in my way. It's one of my obstacles, and I've got to overcome that. Oh, speaking of obstacles, what are you willing to overcome? And we have what we call the 4Ds, and the kind of your obstacles fall into one of these categories. All right. Your obstacles are you may have doubts, there may be disappointment, there's distractions, and there's dream stealers. Okay. Doubt can set in sometimes, especially if you hear no. You really think that someone really needs this or someone's going to be interested and they say no, and you're like, oh, and you start doubting, okay, does this really work? And maybe someone had, took the product and said it didn't work or something like that, and maybe you start doubting the product or something. But this is something you have to avoid because you really have to make yourself bulletproof in this, and that's where the events really come in because we know the products work. We know this business model work. You go to the events and it's funny, we talked about this before, where you look at some of the people who are executives in this company and you're like, oh my Lord, how did they do it? That person, they're an executive? Unreal. If they can do it, I can do it. And I told myself all the time because there's a lot of executives. I'm just like, how? This person? I mean, this must be a simple business if this guy or gal can do this. And they're great people, but some of them have zero business sense sometimes, it seems like. And just all these things come across like, wow, these people overcame these shortfalls of this and still made it work. Okay. So that's an example. And then again, it's examples of disappointment too. If someone says no, they're going to disappoint you. We've had people say, yes, I want to sign up. Let's meet tomorrow and I'll sign up. And guess what? Poof, they're gone into the witness protection program. They ghost you. They never answer the phone again. That's happened to us a handful of times on this journey. It's disappointing, but you get over it and you move on. Distractions, I talked about that already. There's just so many distractions out there, especially during the summertime, summer months. There's so many distractions. And then the dream stealers, and I just kind of laugh at them anymore because they have no idea what they're talking about. Dream stealers are the people that tell you that you're going to fail. This doesn't work. It's a scam. It's a pyramid scheme. You can't do it. Whatever it is. And there's a lot of people out there. And honestly, what I learned is that says more about them than it does about you. Okay. Just keep that in mind. That's that has no bearing on whether you're going to be successful or not, just because someone thinks that you're not. So just keep that in mind. Let's the last one here. Okay, who's going to hold you accountable? And this is a tough part. I remember in the very beginning, my enroller really held me accountable. He would call every other day or so and just say, "Who have you talked to?" If and I would tell him, "Okay, I talked to so and so," and his famous question was like, "All right, well, when are they signing up?" And it was frustrating, but it was also I noticed he was holding me accountable. And so I knew I had to talk to people because it wasn't doing it for him, I was doing it for myself, but yet he was doing me a service by holding me accountable to the work that needed to be done in that. So you may need an accountability partner. Maybe it's your spouse. Maybe you find someone else who's another consultant and you become accountability partners and you talk to each other on a daily or weekly basis and talk about how many people you have in your database, how many people you talked to this week, and so on. And it really propels your business forward, I got to tell you. So again, going back to the beginning, so when you have your success, which you will if you do this, how will your life be different? Okay, think about that. What's going to be different in your life when you reach your goal and you start making the money that you want to make in this? How will your life be different? Will your family's life be better? Okay, because a lot of us are doing this not for ourselves, but maybe for our family, right? Um, how many people will you have helped along the way? Because you're not going to be successful unless you're out there helping people. And will it be worth it? And we all know the answer to that. It absolutely, positively, with 100% certainty, will be worth it in the end there. So that's what I hope that helps you kind of put a plan together and really visualize what can be, really casting vision into that and getting the work done. And as Tara likes to say, working works, right? That's her famous quote. It's
Yeah.
so simple, working works, because when you do the right activities, and we all know what the right activities are, it you will have success. You will find those people.
Yeah.
It's just the hardest part is fitting it in and not falling into your everyday plan. Because 1 year from now will look exactly the same as today if you don't do anything. And change doesn't happen fast. It's very slow over time and you almost miss it, right? You almost don't know it's happening. But when you look back, you see it. And there's a really cool video. I wish I had it propped up. I would show it here for those that can see. But there's a video and you see this guy, you see this guy, and it looks like he's sitting on a jet ski, sitting still on a jet ski. And it says that you feel like you're not moving. You feel like you're not moving. And then the camera pans back and he's going like 70 miles an hour because the water's just spewing out of the back of it. And he can see that he's flying. But if you look forward, it looks like he's barely moving. But when he sees how far he's gone, it's really far. And I think that's a great analogy for a lot of people. You just don't feel like you're making progress. You may feel stuck. It may seem like you're stuck, but when you look back, you can just see how much progress you made. And like I said before, as long as you're doing the right activities, you're talking to, two people a day is going to be huge. And if you do that for the next year to two
Yeah.
years, you're going to be at one of those higher ranks. You're going to be one of those really higher ranks. You do that for 3 to 4 years, you're going to be a world-class network marketer. You really are. And so it doesn't take a lot of time, and those years are going to pass by anyway. So I've given you a plan for the next year, and if you keep redoing that planning every single year, 5 years from now, who knows where you're going to be? Like, who knows? I mean, it's really hard to dream that big, but anything's possible with that. So that's what I got with everybody tonight. I hope that was helpful for a lot of you. But Holly, I don't know if you had anything else before we wrap up tonight.
No, I mean, if folks have questions, they're welcome to drop it in the chat or take themselves off mute. Would love to get your thoughts or insights. But we talked a lot about the importance of tools and the things the company makes available and that we make available for the team to be able to help share what we have. And we said the tools are only as good if they're used, right? We can have all the tools in the world and all the videos and all the things, but if we don't leverage those tools, nothing's going to happen. And so Brian's kind of given you some hopefully some food for thought. And what I would encourage you to do right now is we're just kicking off the month of August. Put a number down of the number of people that you are willing to ask this month. Are you open to taking a look? It's that simple. Are you open to taking a look? They're going to share something with you and you're going to be like, oh, I have something that could be a solution for that. Are you open to taking a look at something that I found that might be able to help you out with that? If you are, awesome. Let's schedule a time to chat. If not, no worries, right? Keep going. But write a number. And then what I would ask you to do is do two things. One, write a number that's less than that. Think of your minimums, right? Because we all have like these grand ideas like, oh man, I'm gonna talk to 20 people this month, or I'm gonna talk to 50 people this month. That's the ideal situation. But if we're not in the routines and the habits yet, we know that we may not hit that number, but we aim for that number because anything that's a little bit less than that is still better. Because like Brian was talking about the whole idea with reading the pages of the book, he at least makes a point to read the pages, because if he doesn't make it part of his DMO, then he wouldn't read any books at all. So don't be afraid to set minimums. Don't beat yourself up if you don't hit a minimum, because every day is a new day. And like Brian kind of talked about those disappointments, don't allow your inside voice to really dictate how you choose to move forward in your business unless it's positive. It's optimism. It's, eating the frog first. Prospecting is my least favorite thing. We've been doing this for 13 years, and I'm being honest, prospecting and going out and finding new people to talk to is still not my favorite thing to do. But once they say yes, oh, I'm super excited. I am all in. I'm anxious. I don't even care what they say. Yes, it's great if they sign up, but I just love that someone's open to hearing what it is that we have to offer. Because at the end of the day, most people just don't know. They're just not educated. They don't know what their options are. And shame on us for not giving them the ability to have options, right? So, yeah, Sarah said also last night on the camel. Yes, they did. So for the company does have a mini trip that's going on right now. A mini incentive trip. It started July. It's July through September. So July, August, September. It's 3 months to qualify, 90 total points. That's it. But if you get 800 in new sales volume this month, if you didn't make it last month and you do it this month instead, then you will still have the ability to qualify for that trip. So thank you, Sarah, for putting in that plug. But no, just thank you, Brian. Appreciate you kind of spelling out that again as we go into a new season, right? Dog days of summer, kids are going back to school. People feel like they're going to get back into their everyday routines. Um, and then at the end of the day, just committing to yourselves, commit to yourself. How much time am I willing to give this? If it's not every day, maybe it's an hour a week. Seriously, you got to start somewhere, right? We're full time. Most of you are not full time. You still have other jobs and things that you're doing and working around that. So no one expects you to be doing this 40 hours a week. So don't beat yourself up if you're not doing it every single day. Everybody's who works their business is going to look different. You just have to find the routine that's going to work best for you.
Mhm.
If Thursdays you're at one day of the week that you know that you can commit an hour or two, then block out those 2 hours and feel good that you made progress in your business, right? You're in complete control. And we're obviously here to go ahead and support you and answer your questions, and guide you and point you to the tools and all the things, if you're willing to let us. So I'm done.
All right. Well, everybody, just and have a good week. We'll talk again next month with our team call, and we're always available to reach out if you need anything at all. So, and then get registered for Dallas. Be there. You want to be there when this new product gets rolled out. So, I'm looking forward to that. So, with that, guys, have a good night. Jason, I'm going to give you a quick call right now.
Sure.
So, yeah, just give you a heads up. All right,
Yeah.
everybody. Talk to you later.